Happy holidays. Happy week 16, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Betting Pros live stream, NFL week 16. Andrew Erickson, Matt Perrault with you for 30 plus minutes. Andrew, how are you? I'm headed to your neck of the woods tomorrow morning. Give me a good temperature reading. What are we doing today? How cold?
It's pretty cold. We're definitely in the freezing temperatures. It's sub 32 degrees outside, and when you factor in wind chill, sometimes it just hurts your face to go outside. So don't love that, but we got an interesting nightcap off today's matchup with the Broncos and the Patriots. So everyone gathered around the television, seeing if the Patriots can cover the spread. That's going to be kind of what we're going to be watching for.
Tell you where I am with the Patriots season. I booked dinner about 2.5 weeks ago at this place I want to go to for dinner tonight. Dinner is at 6:00. I have Pacific, which is the game kicks at 5:15. So to give you an idea, I will watch like maybe a quarter of the game and then be done with it. So I am not really interested in watching the House of Horrors that is playing at Mile High for the Patriots. I have very low expectations for New England tonight. We'll get to that here in a second. So we're going to start with the games today. We will touch on briefly the games on Monday just because we won't be here, obviously, and the numbers and lines might move, but we'll just give you a quick little overview of the 3 games that will take place tomorrow because obviously there are monster games. Tomorrow, it is a smaller slate because of what happened yesterday. Big wins, Buffalo, look, that the dead cat bounce is real. But they didn't cover, but they won, and that's all they needed to do to get out there and get a W to put pressure on some teams in the AFC here, like the Indianapolis Colts. Money coming in here on the Atlanta Falcons. Andrew, you got to explain this to me because it's gone from 1.5 to 2.5. 44.5 is the total. Do you like the Falcons? Are people just playing this because it's the Falcons at home, and this is why?
I think so. Yeah, I think they like the Falcons at home, and I fell for this trap earlier in the year where I was on the Colts early in the week when they were favorites, and then the line flipped to the Bengals being favorites, and the Colts lost outright by a lot of points. You look at the Colts this season, 100% against the spread as a favorite. So again, they opened up as favorites, the lines flipped, so I'm terrified to pick sides here. I just like the over in this game. It's in a dome. Again, we talk about if the Atlanta Falcons are going to play better at home, just bet on their offense. And when you're betting on the Colts, who are you betting on? Shane Steichen, Jonathan Taylor, you're betting on their offensive pieces to score points. So I like the over in the dome here, and I want to avoid the sides because, like you said, like the lines are flip-flopping. Like Taylor Heineke, do I really want to back him? I don't. But at the same time, the Colts, how they've done as an underdog, the market has been spot on with them under-delivering when they're not favored.
So this game, we'll watch the line move, but if the lines do not move, this game will be the long teaser. This will be the first leg. We'll take it up to 8.5 for the Indianapolis Colts, who are on the road, which there's money coming in on the Falcons, but you cross 3, you cross 7, and both these teams need this game. So you would think a 1-score victory one way or the other, 7 points one way or the other, you get over 7, you feel pretty good about the Colts, but like you've mentioned, yikes on the Colts on the road as dogs. I just can't get around the Falcons. I know the whole Desmond Ridder thing, everyone's saying how well he plays at home and how different, but the reports that were coming out of the Falcons that they basically look at Arthur Smith and they're like, we don't like you. Like it's coming out that the team just does not like Arthur Smith. And I'm going, are they going to play hard for him? Do they want to go to the playoffs with him? Do they want to keep his job? If Atlanta makes the playoffs, they're not going to fire the head coach. So not to get too, team psychologist on you, but there's a big fear with the Falcons I've got in that game today. A lot of people in pick contests are liking the Falcons today, and I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with this line move with Green Bay. Here we go. It was 4.5 down to 3.5 here at Circa in Vegas. Other books are at, I guess 3.5 is pretty consistent. The South Point really is the lone 4 I see on my board here in Las Vegas so far, but total of this game is 39.5 now here in Vegas between Green Bay and Carolina. You like the Packers on the road here to win by more than a field goal?
I like the under. That's what I like in this game. Carolina is where totals go to die. They are 6-0 towards the under at home this season. Both these teams are going to run the football. That's what we're going to see. Jordan Love doesn't have Jaden Reed. He doesn't have Christian Watson. So unless we're expecting massive games from Dontavian Wicks, a rookie 5th-round pick, against a Panthers defense that's really underrated. Like, the reason the Panthers record's so bad is because their offense can't sustain drives and their defense eventually just gives up points. But when their defense is in a game that's actually competitive and the spread indicates, okay, it's a 4-point spread, so Green Bay's not going to blow out the Panthers, especially at home. I just think there's going to be a gross, grinded out game. Chuba Hubbard is going to get like 30 carries in this game for the Panthers. And I think Green Bay, with Dillon healthy, with Jones healthy, I think they're going to run the ball too. So I think it's going to be a boring game that I like the under in.
Watson being out has proven, and I watched the game when he pulled up with a hamstring injury, and I was like, man, he looks done for the year. Like, he grabbed his hamstring, and those things are so tricky for wide receivers. And since he's been out, that offense has not been anywhere near what it was. It's a huge, huge loss for the Packers today. I don't think I agree with this. I mean, I think, yeah, they can win the game by a field goal, but I think Carolina might be proving to be a pain in the neck here. They don't need to worry about anything. A win doesn't hurt them. They don't have the first pick. It's the Bears. So now it's just about playing for next year, playing for jobs, and they pay their players too as it goes. So here we are with Houston and Cleveland. What a wild game. I really can't wait to watch this game. Cleveland was a dog. Then CJ Stroud got ruled out, and now they are 3-point favorites. The total is 40. I love Joe Flacco on the road here, but I can't bring myself to bet this game except to tease it up. I have taken the Texans up to 9 here. It's the first leg of my own personal teaser on this one. I think this Texans team can hang. I think they lose the game, but I think they stay within a touchdown here of this one. Where are you on Cleveland and Houston?
I like the fact that you're teasing it up. I think that's a good way to approach. I think that Cleveland's probably getting a little too much credit just because of, again, you mentioned this before, where their defense plays so bad on the road. Like, it's like a totally different, it's like Bizarro, where you got Superman at home, Bizarro on the road. Like, it's not the same defense. So even though it is Case Keenum, I think that the Texans can hang here. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with a Houston -3 ticket because I thought Stroud was going to play in this game. So that's where I'm at when it comes to this game when picking sides. But yeah, I think that teasing it up, Houston's probably going to keep it closer than I think most people think.
Amari Cooper, this is the prop I've got in this game. Amari Cooper has been like the binky for Flacco. Like, he throws, it doesn't matter if he's triple teamed. Like, he's just throwing the ball. Like, that crossing route he threw for the go-ahead touchdown was unbelievable. I mean, he had no business throwing that football. And I talked about it during the week. It's almost like Flacco knows I'm not supposed to be here, so what do I care? Like, I'm not supposed to be the quarterback of the Browns. I'm supposed to be at home with my kids and my family watching these games. So let it rip. What do I care? I'm going to force the ball wherever I can force the ball, and if it works out, it works out. I like Amari Cooper here today to go over, and there are a bunch of different numbers you can find. I got 61.5 for Amari Cooper over. How do you feel about him getting some yardage today?
I like it because when you attack this Texans defense, last week we saw they give up a lot of yardage to wide receivers, but they shut down Derrick Henry. So you're going to see what are the Browns going to do? All right, let's drop back and throw 40 times with Joe Flacco, and we know where the ball is going. It's going to Amari Cooper. If it's not going to Cooper, it's going to Njoku. So very concentrated target share. And the Texans, their secondary is not that great. So Amari Cooper has the established stud. He's also playing in a dome. So it's like, again, you don't need to worry about weather or anything like that in December with Amari Cooper. Sometimes he checks out a game, especially on the road. But the fact that it's in a dome, I think is really good for his production.
Seattle is on the road at the Titans. This number was 1.5. It's now all the way up to 3. That's when the number has stopped. The total is 42. Some books are testing 42.5 with this game. What do you make of the quarterback situation? Because, again, it feels like we don't really know what Seattle's going to do at the quarterback spot.
Well, I think that the Geno Smith is going to play. I think that's what's.
Is he starting?
Yes, I believe so. I think that's
what
they
lying?
want. That's what they want to. That's what I'm reading, at least in the information I can tell. So we'll see what actually ends up happening. But look, a field goal and a hook for a home team with Tannehill starting. Like, I like that side. I like the Titans plus 3.5. They play traditionally like the Falcons. They play much better at home. You're getting a field goal plus on the spread, and it's not like Tannehill is this massive downgrade from Will Levis when it comes to the point spread. Like, yeah, you can say like, oh, you'd rather have the upside rookie. Okay. But Tannehill's also a veteran that's not going to make dumb turnovers. That's going to cause them to lose a field goal game. So Tennessee loses this game by a field goal at home. Yeah. I think that is definitely highly in the range of outcomes. So I like the Titans side here.
Yeah. And the one thing we talk about, guys playing for jobs. Tannehill is playing for his next team. He's not playing. He knows what's happening next year, but he's got to put some game tape out there so someone can go and pick him up. So I expect him to try to ball out today and throw as much as he possibly can. I do expect a good game out of the passing attack. I can't bet the props, but I think you could look at some of the wide receivers, anytime touchdowns. I think you could look at yardage. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot today just because Tannehill wants to if he can.
Yeah, and this is probably Derrick Henry's last game in Tennessee. Like, this is probably the end of him. So, again, Seattle's run defense is not good. So, if Derrick Henry's going to go out with a bang, this is the game that he would do it in.
Yeah, I was surprised the number went down 44-42. I actually like the over in that game. I'm not betting it, but I actually like the over in that game on that one. Washington is on the road at the New York Jets. Number has been 3. It's been solidly 3. The total's had some movement to the under, which I don't mind at all here. I would lean towards the under with Washington and the Jets, but the Washington defense is so bad. I'm worried about like just garbage points and stupid things happening and this game goes over. I almost bet it last night and I was like, I don't know. They're so bad defensively. Even the Jets might move the football today.
They might. But I mean, it's Trevor Siemian. I just like, I think that this line is actually, I think it's still too high, given the total. Like, again, it's at 30, or what I'm seeing is at 37.
Yep.
But the Jets can't score on offense. They don't score touchdowns. They have Trevor Siemian at quarterback, and the Commanders aren't going to be able to score themselves. So this is just two teams just like running into walls. Yes, you'd expect Trevor Siemian to be able to do something, but the Commanders are in a point where they can kind of just throw whatever they want on defense because nothing works anyway. So the fact that they're facing the worst quarterback they faced all year long, I just think, look, similar to Carolina, MetLife Stadium, under Central. Like, this is where all the games go under between the Jets and Giants. So, again, I mean, if you look at Sam Howell's passing yards props this week compared to what they've been throughout the season, it's like 100 yards less than what it's usually been because they know this is going to be a slog. And the thing with Howell, too, is if he comes out, throws an interception, he may not finish the game. Like, you could see Jacoby Brissett get interested in the game.
Yeah.
So, like, Terry McLaurin, like, all those props on these receivers for the Commanders, you want to bet the unders on these across the board.
Yeah, I've seen that with a lot of people who have talked about the fact that Howell is most likely not going to finish the game, not because of injury, because the team's not going to have him finish the game. So I think you got to be careful with any prop bets on Washington because we don't exactly know who's going to be playing quarterback. The game that has a ton of interest and a lot of people debating, Detroit at Minnesota. This number was 3. It has dipped below 3. It's now 2.5. Totals 47.5. This would be the other side of the long teaser. We'll get to that here in about 15 minutes, but it would be the Vikings being teased up to 8.5. Where are you on this game? Because there's big debate here in Vegas on this one. I know a lot of people that like the Vikings here, and yet everyone I've seen publicly, a lot of people liking the Lions simply because of what they got playing for right now. It's a hat and t-shirt game for the Lions.
Yeah, this game is definitely tough to handicap because you have the Lions playing on the road, and it's like, okay, well, it's road golf, but it's like in a dome, so is it really road golf? And then you have the Vikings who basically play in 1.1 score games no matter what. So the fact that you're teasing up to 8.5, it's like that seems like a lock to me because that's how the Vikings play all their games, regardless of whoever their quarterback is. It doesn't matter. They're going to finish the game within 8 points of the opponent. Like, that's what they do. And so I got this at plus 3.5. Felt good about that. I'm not touching it with anything less than a field goal just because I don't think there's a lot of value in that because it's probably going to be a close game. So teasing it up with the Vikings is the move to make. The total, again, it could go either way. So I think that you're spot on with just tease it up. That's the move.
Caesars is leading the market at the moment. They're up to 48 on the total. It opened at 46. Most in Vegas are at 47.5. East Coast books also now have gone to 47.5. I feel like this is an over game, but the Vikings don't play over games, right?
Yeah, it's tricky because I really think there's a lot of conflicting things because it's in a dome. Okay, you have two offenses that can be explosive, but then you have the Brian Flores effect, and it is road golf. Like, we've seen Brian Flores coach up a scheme against Jared Goff before, and he's been horrible. So it really depends on. I think you might be able to tell how this game starts. Maybe this is more of a live bet opportunity where you see how Brian Flores is down. Are they being really aggressive? Are they blitzing out of the gates? And is Goff responding well? If not, okay, maybe this is a shot where you can take the under a little bit into the game. Maybe they get a score here or there. But I really don't like either side. I really don't like the total because I can really see go either way. So again, going back to if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 8.5 Minnesota Vikings tease it up.
Yep. So Colts Vikings teaser will probably be the one, but we'll get to that officially. I'll tell you here in a second. The afternoon slate, we go to the 105 Eastern time kick games. Jacksonville is at Tampa. We find out that, hey, we're going to see the starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's going to play. What happened to the number? It went down It's now 1 or 1.5. This is the other side of my own teaser. I have Texans +9. I got 1.5 on the Bucks, so I tease it up to 7.5 for the Bucks here at home. I think this is two teams going in different directions, Andrew. I think this is a Bucks team that really could win the division and make the postseason, maybe be a problem in the NFC for whoever they wind up going and playing, versus a Jags team that is just banged up and leaking oil. I think the Bucks win the game outright. Where are you on Jags Bucks?
I just like the over because I think both these defenses suck. Like, the fact that it's so low too. I was waiting to get like Lawrence. Okay, he's gonna be quarterback before I wanted to bet the over, and I saw it went back up to like 43 and a half. But now I'm looking again, and it's back down to like 41 and a half. Like, these are two of the worst defenses in the NFL. Again, coming from a fantasy football background, you're starting all your Jaguars. You're starting all your Buccaneers, like with like Baker Mayfield is like the most popular like streaming quarterback you can play this week because of the matchup against the Jaguars. Only 3 quarterbacks this year that have faced the Jaguars have not gone over their projected passing yards total.
Wow.
Like, and one of them happened last week with Lamar Jackson because they weren't throwing that much. Injuries, one of them happened with Will Levis, and one of them happened to Kenny Pickett in a game he didn't finish. So like overs on Baker Mayfield, it's like round, I think it was like 240 yards is where his prop was, but with Evans, with Godwin, with all of his weapons against a Jaguar secondary that can't get out of their way. Yes, I love the over in this game. Baker Mayfield over passing yards. It's one of my favorite prop bets of this week.
I think I may trail you on that Baker prop. I like that a lot. Dallas and Miami. So I don't know what to do with this. The only thing I've got is I have a Raheem Mostert anytime touchdown prop on this one because I do think they're going to give him the ball in the red zone and he will score. -110 at most books there.
He's got 20 so far this year. So.
Yeah, well, they're going to go for the record. I think he needs 4 more rushing touchdowns for him to get the Dolphins record. So I think they're going to give him the football, try to get to the Dolphins touchdown record. So it's why I like it. Dolphins have seen a little bit of movement. Opened at pick. It's 1.5. Total is 48.5. I am actually really stunned that this number is coming down from a total perspective. Do you see the under in this game coming in? Because I don't. I think this is a high scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not nearly confident enough to bet the under on this game. Like, it's a game again. If I don't see a ton of value in because it's obviously super high already at 50, so it's usually a number where I'll stay away just because we have seen some issues with Dallas and their offense playing on the road, and Miami's offense. Is Tyreek Hill healthy? Is he not healthy? Like, we don't really know. So there are some question marks there. So that's why I'd shy away. But like, I'm not going to be surprised if I look up and it's 30-30, like in the fourth quarter. So it's not why I'm like, oh, let's pound the under here.
Right.
I like the Dolphin side. I like them at home. They've been better at home, but not super strongly on each side.
This is 100% a live bet for me. I got to watch and see what Tyreek Hill looks like. What's the game plan? And then what does Dak look like in his first series throwing the football? If they move the ball at will and go right down and score, the Cowboys can win this game. They absolutely can. If Hill is not Hill, or if he's out and not playing, it looks like he's going to play. But if he can't go the full 4 quarters, Cowboys are 100% live. But if Tyreek Hill is out there doing Tyreek Hill type things, time for the Cowboys, and this could be a walk in the park win for the Dolphins. So this is 100% a game I'm going to watch and live bet it. It's the best game in the afternoon window, even though I do like the Bucks and Jags. It's by far the best game, maybe the best game of the day. You could argue with Dolphins and the Cowboys coming up at 1:25 Pacific time, 4:25 Eastern. And then the other game in the afternoon window is Arizona at Chicago. I don't think many people are going to watch this, but I bet it because, well, that's me. I'm taking the points. Cardinals +4. Did you know this? This stat's crazy. The Cardinals are 4-5 against the NFC this year. All 5 losses against the spread have been against divisional opponents. They're 4-0 against the NFC ATS going into this game with good weather in Chicago against a Bears team that I do not like. I'm taking the 4. How do you feel about the Cardinals today?
Yeah, it's tough to wrap your head around that. And then also looking at Justin Fields has never been this heavy of a favorite in his NFL career. Like 4 points. This is the most he's ever been favored in a game.
That. Wow.
So it's another like
it's another
thing where you're like, man, should the Bears really be 4-point favorites at home?
No.
I don't know about that. I guess for me, I like the under in this game. Again, going back to, okay, maybe Fields isn't in such a smash spot. And the way that the Cardinals play defense, it's very, very cookie cutter, very vanilla defense. And that's not really where Justin Fields thrives. Like, he doesn't thrive dropping back to throw and then dissect the defense. They're not going to be throwing a lot. They don't pressure the quarterback, but when Fields just stands there in the pocket, like I think he does better almost under pressure where he can run, he can move around, he can use his legs, but the Cardinals are like, all right, we'll just sit back and let you drop back to throw and beat us. And
Right.
that is where Fields has struggled more often than not. So I actually like the under in this game. Cardinals have been perfect towards the under as a team this year on the road versus
Right.
at home where they're perfect towards the over.
And then final game today, before we get to the games on Monday, Patriots on the road against the Broncos. The number is 7.5 at some books, 7 in others. The total has gone all the way up to 37 at certain books here, which I absolutely completely disagree with. You can get 37 at DraftKings right now if you want. I'm on under 30 on the road and score points because they're 5-2 to the under at home. It's going to be cold, and it's Sunday Night Football, which has been an automatic under pretty much all season long. You like points tonight?
No, definitely not. Definitely fading any type of points scored in this game. You know, Bailey Zappi, Western Kentucky. It's not like he's used to playing in cold weather. Like this isn't the Tom Brady. This isn't the Patriots can handle the elements. Like I don't know about that. And the fact that you mentioned Denver is a house of horrors for the Patriots, even when they were good. So
I'm 46 years old, guys. I remember Carlin Mecklenburg. I remember the Orange Crush. I remember the John Elway years. The Patriots never win, even when they had crap quarterbacks. It was always a problem. Then they got Peyton Manning. It became a big problem. I mean, Denver has always been this place where Patriot teams go and lose. And I'm like, wait a minute. It was 6.5, and it was 7. Now it's 7.5. I'm like, you guys think the Patriots are going to score? Like, I know it's Russell Wilson. And I get it. The Patriot defense is phenomenal. I mean, I think the team total for the Broncos is 20.5 or 21. I think under that, I think the Patriots aren't going to go there and score. And I know the last 2 weeks, and everyone's like, well, they went to the Steelers. You guys realize that it's like the Patriots go to Pittsburgh and win all the time. Like
and TJ Watt did not play like in that game at all.
Right.
Like he's their best.
Second,
he's like the one defensive player that actually affects the point spread, and he barely played in the game.
Second play of the game, he took a flying knee from Ezekiel Elliott and concussed the guy. He didn't know where he was the
and
entire
then put him
game.
back in the game with the visor.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, this is not the way that you do concussion protocol.
You know, it's so funny. There's two things ago. Like everybody was like, explain to me how TJ Watt took a flying knee to the face and came back and was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then last night in the Northwestern game here in Vegas, when the Vegas Bowl, the Northwestern quarterback got his head rocked to the point where he did the whole the fetal position thing with his arms. They put him back into the game. He talked his way back into the game. Then he got hit again and he popped his shoulder out. He kept going. Like there's this concussion protocol thing. Like there must be like a way of answering all the questions. So the doctor's like, oh, he's fine, because players are getting put back into positions like they should never have been getting put back into. But you play quarterback and you play a key position on defense. You can talk your way back onto the football field when it comes to protection of the players. Yeah, I think Denver is going to. It's the number one pick. The Circus Survivors got $9.2 million up for it here in Vegas. There are 9 people left. 6 of them are on the Broncos. So if you want to cheer,
you will.
Well, and the crazy thing is the top team, the number one consensus pick, has been a horror show for the last month in that survivor pool. So if the Patriots win the game, it's 13-10 and it's under. So there's no way that I could not. They scored 21 points against the Steelers and didn't score again. So that was a fluky start to the game. Pittsburgh recalibrated and shut the Patriots out. They still won the game though, because it was the offense. Mason Rudolph yesterday though. How'd you feel about Rudolph at Christmas time? That stupid narrative everybody was running with, and all of a sudden he goes and proves it correct.
I mean, it's easy when your guy's running for 80-yard touchdowns and you just hit him on a slant and they just run all the way. It's just like, I mean, what we found with these backup quarterbacks is, and I want to go back and kind of actually research this more. Like, it seems like once backup quarterbacks like start their first couple games, like they're really, really good.
Yep.
But then after like the third game is like when it all falls apart. And so that's why we get
game
Browning.
tape. Well, they get game tape on him, and they're like, okay,
Jake
here's
Browning
what he does wrong.
First 4 games, Jake Browning is lights out, and then the 5th game comes along. He's like, oh no. So it's like Mason Rudolph probably playing well next week 18, and then they'll feel good about him in next year, and then it'll all come crashing down.
Yeah, not good. Let's touch on the games tomorrow because there's 3 of them, and they're pretty interesting. Casey's at home against the Raiders. This number is 10.5 to 11. 40.5 is the consensus total here in this one. This is a get right spot for the Chiefs, is it not? I mean, this is when they take apart the Raiders.
I think so. But again, I just don't have confidence in their offense because of the lack of playmakers. So I like the under in this game. Chiefs are 5-1 towards the under at home this year. The Raiders, look, we saw them score 0 points 2 weeks ago. We saw them score 63 the last time they played. They're probably going to be more in the middle than scoring a bunch of points. So yeah, I like the under. You know, Kansas City, especially for a rookie quarterback, like it is a tough place to play. Like, and that doesn't even matter if the Chiefs defense has been good or bad. So I like the under for Chiefs and Raiders.
Christmas standalone game, outdoors, not good. You know, weather's gonna be okay. I guess it's just gonna be cold. This is bad. I would love nothing more than to watch the Raiders walk into Arrowhead and beat them on Christmas Day and spoil their Christmas, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. The Eagles are now 13.5-point favorites up against the Giants. I mean, the reports are coming out again. I don't know where the Inquirer in Philadelphia is grabbing these, but the Jalen Hurts is not a leader topic is back. The locker room is turning on Jalen Hurts. They don't believe he's going to be the guy for them. It's almost like they're setting up the Eagles to lose this game on Christmas. They can't lose this game on Christmas, right?
No, I mean, because they're playing the Giants 2 times over the next 3 weeks, and you know at least one of the times they're going to dismantle them. Like it's going to happen at least one time they're going to kill.
This is it. They're at home.
Giants,
this is the time they do it. They're at home.
Yeah, I don't ever want to lay 14 or 13.5 points for the home team, but it's like the spread's like that for a reason. Like, and again, if you don't like the Eagles spread, I like the over. The Eagles are 5-1 towards the over. Their defense is horrible. The Giants only need to score like 14 points, and that'll get the game over because you know Philadelphia's going to put up 30. So.
Right. Game of the weekend, the biggest handle of the weekend, standalone, Christmas night. Everyone watching the Ravens at the 49ers. The number now is up to 6. The total is up to 46.5. Why are the Ravens 6-point dogs here? Can you explain this to me? Because this seems too easy to just go ahead and take Baltimore plus the 6.
I think it just has to do with, you know, the 49ers are the Death Star, you know, essentially, you know, DVOA, like all these metrics say they're like the best team in the past, like 25 years historically when all their guys are healthy, and that's fine. But it's like, guys, like Lamar Jackson doesn't lose games by like more than a touchdown. Like he just doesn't. Like he's that good of a quarterback. And when you get 6 points with Lamar Jackson, who is amazing against the spread, as an underdog. Like they talked about it in the locker room. They're like, we love being underdogs. Like this is fun for us because we're not favored to win, which is not usually the case because they're usually not playing a team like the 49ers. So yeah, I think 6 points is too much for the 49ers against the best team in the AFC, against the best team in the NFC. So yeah, even if the Ravens don't win, give me Lamar with 6 points.
Here is my Christmas gift to you guys who stay and watch this entire live stream. Tell me how this loses. And I don't normally recommend this. And not every book will let you do this. 10-point teaser. You take the Chiefs down to a half a point. You take the you take the Eagles down to 3.5, and you give the Baltimore Ravens 16 points. Most books will give it to you for minus 120 or minus 130.
Whew.
How does that lose?
So Chiefs a half point.
Chiefs money line, basically.
Yeah, Chiefs money line. Is it bad that I say the Chiefs? is that bad if that's the thing that could blow it for you? I mean, they have a divisional game. I mean, I guess Giants.
So would you go to the Raiders and say give them 20.5? Would you feel more comfortable going the other way?
Probably not. No,
probably not. Not right. I don't either. No way.
I mean, it's hard to poke. It's hard to Matt. I mean, it's hard to poke holes in that 3-legger.
If you're looking for a way, if you can't watch all the games or you don't want to handicap them all, we did this on my other show during the week, and we were like, we don't like recommending 10-point teasers, but like these spreads are so high that there are 3 games. They're all played in order, and it's hard to see the Raiders winning the game. It would be kind of surprising to see the Raiders go to Arrowhead on Christmas Day, winning the game. And then I think the Eagles are going to kill the Giants. I think this is the Tommy DeVito thing on the road is just no bueno, guy. He can do it at home, but the whole road thing, like last week, I mean, it was like, everyone's like, watch out for the Giants against the Saints. I was like, you serious? Like, give me a break. I was like, that's not. And then he got worked. And then the Ravens might win the game outright. I mean, they 16 points is 16 points. You just mentioned it. Lamar doesn't lose by a touchdown, let alone give him 16 points.
Yeah.
So there you go on that.
I'm
all
good
right.
with it, so
yeah, I'll be on it. So there we go. So a couple of prop bets I didn't talk about. I mentioned Amari Cooper. I mentioned the Raheem Mostert. How do you feel about TJ Hawkinson? Bit of a revenge game here, going over 52.5 receiving yards.
I'm not so sure about what his role is with Nick Mullins under center.
Okay.
That's the only thing I'm concerned about because they have Jefferson back. They're using Jordan Addison a lot. So that's my only concern with Hawkinson.
I like going with tight ends with inexperienced quarterbacks because I feel like they just look to the middle of the field half the time when the pressure is coming. They just looked right, then they throw to the tight ends trying to like binkies. And I think Hawkinson wants the football. I think the game plan is going to be get that ball, get the guy the ball that played for the team that they're facing, and a little bit of a look what you lost type of thing here with that. So I like him to go over 52.5 receiving. And then I think Russell Wilson under 214.5 passing yards. It's a little juicy, but I like the under. Patriots pass defense, pass rush, just defense in general. I don't think Wilson has a big game here today.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick knows how to stop Russell Wilson. I really don't think that he's going to have any issues slowing down the Broncos offense, which is hardly anything to be super excited about. So yeah, he's just kind of continuing with the theme of Broncos, Patriots under. If the game goes under, then you're not going to see a lot of yards. So
a lot of passing yards too. So anything you like we've not touched on yet, Andrew?
No, I've got to hit on most of the things that I like. I know same in that Denver Broncos game, Javonte Williams under his rushing yardage prop. Patriots are lights out against running backs. Like you can't run the football on them. It's just so bizarre how a team that's 3-11 is so good defensively, just because their offense has been so bad, puts their team in a bad spot to win games. So yeah, Javonte Williams is another under in this Denver Broncos and Patriots game.
Do you think if Belichick handed over the offense, I know Bill O'Brien came back, but do you think if Belichick handed over the offense to some quote guru and just says, I'm gonna run the defense, you run the offense, that Kraft might let him stay?
I just think that Belichick wouldn't do that. Like that's the thing. Like in a imaginary world where you could do that and Belichick could just be all in on defense, like that would be the best thing that he can contribute to a team is like, I'm the coach of the defense, and that defense would be top 10 regardless of whatever the personnel would be.
Yeah. Chargers, I would back up the Brinks truck and give whatever I can possibly give to the Patriots to get Bill Belichick. Because if he came and coaches that Patriot style defense with that offense in LA, oh boy, you have a quarterback and receivers and running backs. And
it's just too bad that the management there is never going to, they won't bring in a guy like Belichick. Like they won't pay that type of money because that's just how they are.
See, I've been told I've been told it's done.
Really?
Yeah, I've been told it's done. I've been told it's been done for weeks. That Spanos is Robert Kraft's lackey, and Spanos will do whatever. He literally follows him around. Whatever Kraft says, Dean Spanos says, yes, sir, I'll do it. And it's gonna be probably a second or third round pick for Belichick, and he'll take the contract and he'll pay him because it gives them something to counteract the Rams and gives Chargers people might actually become Charger fans.
That's a good point. Yeah.
If you give him Bill Belichick, so it might actually be beneficial for him to have that, to sell tickets, to actually have a fan base. So it's worth the $11 million or whatever Belichick's making because he re-signed in the offseason that new contract. We're not really sure how much he's making, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been told that by people that know that that's going to be the arrangement. But then the report came out last week that said Belichick wants to stay, which makes me believe that Belichick doesn't want to play ball with Robert Kraft. So Belichick's like, Belichick's like, that's all fine and good, Robert. I'm glad that you've gone and negotiated that, but I have a say as to where I'm going, and I don't want to go to LA. So you're gonna have to fire me. I'm not going to. I'll retire. If you want to send me to Los Angeles, I'm walking. So I think that's what that shot. We talked about during the week. I was like, that's the shot across the bow for Belichick, saying, wait a minute. You're not sending me anywhere. I get to pick where I want to go. So this offseason, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be very interesting with the Patriots and Belichick and that. All right. So the Wong teaser is going to be that. We're going to take the Colts up to 8.5 and the Vikings at plus 8.5. Can the Colts keep it close, or am I dead on that, Andrew? How do you feel about Indy plus 8.5?
I mean, can a Taylor Heineke team beat a team by like 8.5 points? Like, I don't know. Like, so you should be fine there. I mean, they got Shane Steichen, one of the best coaches in the NFL, and I think that they should be good.
There's your Wong teaser, Colts and the Vikings. Guys, if you've not downloaded the Betting Pros app, do so, because there's a variety of things you guys can go and get on the Betting Pros app, which is free. The prop bet cheat sheet's phenomenal. NBA, it really is good for that, but also helps you find things that you may want to bet you may have not thought about betting before. It syncs and tracks your bets. You can view your performance across all sports, bet types, books, and you can follow other users. And when they get hot, you can trail them as well. It's great for your betting instincts. It's all free. Track all your bets in one app with the Betting Pros app, App Store, Google Play. Go check it out. Go download it today. Andrew, good stuff, man. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I will talk to you in 2024. Wow. Yeah, we'll do that the next time you'll be on this as we head towards the end of the regular season. We are doing it next week, by the way. I will be back in Boston. I don't know how I'll set it up, but I'll do something. I'll be doing it actually at 12 o'clock, which is going to be very strange. Middle of the day. Normally it's first thing in the morning for me. So we'll see. Troy, great stuff. Andrew, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Best of luck. I'll go and post all of these plays in our Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. Back next week for week 17 of the Betting Pros NFL live stream.